Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. In the last episode you saw me splitting this room to create a new bedroom and a bathroom. So in today's video I will be showing you the bathroom all finished off. I hope you enjoy it. Let me show you how I did it. So the plastering in here is pretty much dried out now. There are just some patches here in this corner and this top corner which don't seem to be shifting. This one is a little bit, but that has looked exactly the same for days. So I'm just going to ignore this corner and this corner because I really want to get the towel rail put on so that I can get the central heating system back up and running, because it's the middle of October and the house is absolutely freezing. So I'm just going to do this with this no-nonsense trade bare plaster paint which I picked up from Screwfix. I think I am going to keep this wall white. The only feature wall that I will probably do in here is this one, and I'm thinking of maybe a green, but I still to make a final decision on that one, but that will be easily accessible and shouldn't make too much of a mess. So I'm going to crack on getting this painted. Hopefully it doesn't take too many coats, and then I can get the radiator on the wall. So once the radiator was on, I was able to sort out the floor, which was really unlevel. So I did level it off with some plywood. I think it was 5mm that I used. And then I just put down a vinyl cushion floor over the top. It's one of those things that's quite easy to replace if the floor gets damaged. I don't like putting tiles down on the floor because if you ever need to get under them again, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So with the flooring done, it was then time to put in the sink. So for the sink, I wasn't able to find a vanity unit that was big enough, that didn't cost an absolute fortune. So I'm using an either cupboard from IKEA, does need to go on. I used a hole saw to put a hole through so I can get the waste in, and cut some holes at the back. You can see there, so now I'm just going to get all of this connected up. I've realised whilst editing that I didn't actually have any footage of how I'd run this pipe work. So it comes under the floor, up through the stud wall, and then through the stud wall to under the sink. And then the same with the waste, it goes into the stud wall and then comes out under the bath so that it can go to the wall outside. You'll see here, I was actually originally going to have this a little bit higher, that's why there's some extra holes. But the height of the sink is quite high anyway. I was going to put feet on this, but it just wouldn't have been accessible for children. So water's back on. Let's just check the waste is working. Next up was installing the shower. So this was boxed out so that all the pipework could go behind, because this was a brick wall, as you can see. So I'm leaving a space in the middle for a shower niche. I decided to go against having one that was tiled in, because in the future if there's any issues with this pipework, it will mean ripping all of the tiles off. So the niche that I've used can just be siliconed in after the tiling has been done, and then there's access to it. I then got on with installing the skirting boards and the architraves, and then sorting out the pipework under the bath. So you'll be able to see here the waste that runs from the sink as well, and I'm just hooking up the waste for the bath and connecting the taps and the shower pipework. So I didn't have the room fully plastered because you can tile directly onto moisture board, which this is. So I filled the gaps with moisture waterproof grout, which this is here, which was really expensive. I just decided to go for a plain white matte subway tile. I do really like subway tiles. They look really good in quite a lot of different patterns and they are pretty cheap. I do really like these ones. They're just nice and simple and really neutral. This took me a while to do. When you obviously use smaller tiles, it does take a little bit longer, but I finished it off with a chrome trim and a grey grout. I made sure that I actually had the tiles before deciding where the niche was going to go, because it just meant that I was able to cut the tiles really well with this. So here I am actually putting the shower in place now that the tile's done. This was quite an inexpensive shower, and quality wise it's pretty good, to be fair. The water pressure in the bathroom isn't good. The only good water pressure is actually downstairs, so this shower was quite impressive really with the amount of pressure that it was letting out. The bath taps are pretty slow, but the shower was quite good. But this was quite easy to install. Once I'd tiled behind the sink, I was just popping all of that back in place. And then I had finally decided on a colour to do this feature wall. This is Dulux Egyptian cotton, so I got on with painting that, which definitely brightened up the room a little bit. It was feeling a little bit clinical being all white, so I think it made a massive difference. The final thing for me to do was sort out the bath panel, so I picked up this Velcro off Amazon. I'll link it down below, and I was just fitting it to this frame that I'd fitted to the floor and the wall just to hold it in place. I've always had an issue with bath panels popping out, which is really annoying, so it literally just fits on the side of the bath and then it holds it in place. So here's a reminder of what the room looked like before, and here is how it looks now. I absolutely love this. I think it's turned out really, really well. I'm not sure if I'm going to be staying in this house, so I didn't want to go all out with anything too extravagant. I've got plenty of storage space underneath the sink. I've got a shower over the bath. It's got absolutely everything that it needs. It's nice and modern, really neutral but calming at the same time. I will link the shower niche down below as well if you wanted to pick one of those up, and all of the other products as well. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I just think it's such a nice relaxing space now. I love to have a bath, so I am absolutely over the moon with how this has turned out. Hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, drop me down a comment, let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next video.